Hey everyone! I have been running the Bootcamp Girl program for 7 years now. And in 7 years, I have seen a lot. I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of weight and get really, really amazing results. It's been very inspirational for me, very rewarding. I didn't realize just how rewarding my career would be in fitness. I love fitness, always loved fitness. So it was something that I enjoyed doing. It seemed fun for me. And what I realized was, wow, this is really rewarding too, just seeing how much people change, how their life changes significantly because of the program that I put together. So I'm really happy about that. And the reason I wanted to put together a video is I wanted to convey some of the key elements of success in a fitness program. I've seen people on both ends of the spectrum. I've seen people lose a lot of weight and they've maintained that weight loss. I've seen people lose a little bit of weight and get stronger but maybe weren't very consistent. And I've seen a lot of people lose a certain amount of weight, get stronger, get healthier. So I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot over the last 7 years. And I know very well what works and what doesn't work. So the other day I ran into someone who was in my program 4 years ago, and she had lost 80 some pounds. And she started in my program completely sedentary. And by the way, her name is Kathy, so if she ever watches this video, she'll know it's her. But she started out completely sedentary 4 years ago. What it may have been 4, may have been 5 years ago. Needed to lose 80 pounds. So she wasn't starting off with an advantage of any kind. She ate standard American diet. She was sedentary. And through my suggestions, she changed her eating and she started exercising regularly. And through that, eventually she lost 80 some pounds within maybe 6 to 12 months, something like that, I think. And I saw her last year, so it had been 3 or 4 years since she was in the program, and she actually had maintained her weight loss. I consider that the ideal situation because what I want for people is permanent weight loss. So when I see someone that has gone through my program and they've lost weight and then they've kept it off, that shows me that what I taught them and what they learned and the habits they got into actually stuck. And that's the key. That's the key, that they stuck. So what I want to tell you is I want to tell you about what she did and what other people like her have done that have lost weight and kept it off, because I know exactly what you need to do to be like her. I've seen it so many times. For one thing, you need to be someone who is coachable, meaning you need to be open-minded to other people's suggestions, especially people like me that know what they're talking about. And at this point, I've had a lot of success with my students losing weight, getting healthier, getting stronger, becoming more athletic. I have a lot of testimonials and proof that my program works and I know what I'm talking about. So the first thing is you got to be coachable. You got to be someone that says, okay, she must know what she's talking about or she wouldn't have these results of her students. She wouldn't have all these testimonials. That's very important, because the people who want to do it their own way and want to kind of go off and do their own thing, they don't lose as much weight, they don't get as in shape. They still can lose weight and they can still do okay, but they don't do as well as they could. I'm talking about if you really want all the results. The other thing is you need to have goals. So having goals is extremely important. I encourage everyone to set a goal every month, and people that set goals tend to accomplish more than people that don't. So please set your goals. It's very important. Most people, when they exercise, they don't really have a goal. They just exercise and they just say they want to lose weight. They don't have any direction. They're not going anywhere. So, but if you have a direction, if you have like a clear-cut goal, you're more likely to get not just what you set out to, but even more than you set out to. that you become not just losing weight and looking better and fitting in your clothes, but you become strong, athletic, you have better cardio, all that kind of stuff that you really want, you do it. This person made permanent lifestyle changes. She didn't just go on a diet. She made permanent lifestyle changes. The other very important thing, and actually the main thing that I want to talk about, is that she was extremely consistent with showing up to the workouts. She had a recurring schedule, which means we use something called Mind Body Online. If you're watching this video and you're not in my program, it's a system called Mind Body Online, and there's a lot of different systems like that where people go on and you can put yourself on a recurring schedule where you're on the schedule every week at a certain day and a certain time. She was on a recurring schedule and she barely ever, within a year, barely ever missed a workout. And she was committed in advance. Having that advance commitment to the workout is imperative. It is really imperative because you are making a commitment in advance that you are going to show up. And if you resist making that commitment in advance, you're still on shaky ground when it comes to your exercise. You're not committed to it. It's not that important to make it an appointment. With your doctor's appointment, you can't just show up to the appointment. You've got to make an appointment in advance. And that we understand that in our society, that's how it works, because the doctor's not just sitting there waiting for you. So you need to think about your exercise as just as important as a doctor's appointment or hair appointment. I hope it's at least as important as a hair appointment. This is your long-term health, that you're willing to make an appointment in advance and show up to that appointment. And that is extremely important. I know people think I'm getting on their case about it. It's because I know it's what works. And it comes back to you being coachable and you saying, okay, this person knows what she's talking about. She's got a track record. She knows what works, what doesn't work. Let me be on board with this. Let me join a program and be 100% on board with that concept, because that concept is what works. Some people, they add themselves on the schedule. Even though we tell them to do a recurring schedule, they add themselves on at the very last minute. So I know exactly what's happening. What's happening is you're deciding whether or not you feel like going at the very last minute. So you get a way out, because if you never put yourself on the schedule, you're not canceling, but in effect, it's the exact same thing. If you put yourself on in advance and you late cancel because you decided at the last minute you're not going to go, or you don't put yourself on in advance and you wait till the last minute to decide if you want to go and then put yourself on, it's the exact same thing. You're not committing to it in advance, and it's a key element, a really key foundational element of whether or not your exercise is going to stick or not. It's one of the most important parts of the program, and you might be coming, let's say you're coming 5 days a week and you're pretty consistent about coming 5 days a week and you're doing it at the last minute every time, and somebody else, they scheduled the whole year in advance and they're committed and they're showing up and they're coming 5 days a week. This is night and day. They're creating a lifetime habit and they're committed to their exercise, and they've really made it a permanent part of their schedule, where you're just like, nah, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. I'll see if other people are going, or maybe I won't show up. I'm guessing if you're doing that, you're not getting the weight loss results that you want. You're frustrated a little bit. You're wondering why you're not getting as good of results as somebody else. Part of that is you're not really committed to being there. That is a big part of this. And when I see someone go from kind of showing up to really consistently showing up, I know they're on the right path, and they're going to end up just like Kathy, who I was telling you about, to permanent weight loss habits, or permanent weight loss, long-term weight loss. And that's a very key part of it. So if you're kind of adding yourself on at the last minute and canceling at the last minute, you're going to struggle, because you're not even accepting that concept yet. You haven't committed to exercise being a permanent part of your day that you've committed to, that you go no matter what. When you make that shift in your thinking, you make that mindset shift, is when everything can change for you. So when I give you a hard time about not scheduling in advance and taking yourself off and late canceling, it's not because for my benefit, it's because I want you to get the most results in the program. I want to see you get to that ideal. And I know if you're not doing that, that you're not on the path yet. Unfortunately, you're just not there yet. You're not even close to being there. So get there, do what it takes, and you'll see the best results. And if you're watching this video and you're not in my program, if you have any questions about what I said, you can email us at info@thebootcampgirl.com.